Okay, there's a lot of confusion about soaking nuts. And I know this is something that you do. I know that you use nuts in your kitchen and cooking, and this is not something that you purchase in the store. This is something that you do yourself.
Right.
So why do you go to the time and trouble?
Oh my goodness, nuts are probably one of the major things I understood that can cause a lot of digestive stress if you're not treating them and preparing them correctly.
What do you mean digestive stress? What's going to be the problem?
Well, the nuts have in them, like the grains, the phytic acid. And the phytic acid is a preservative that keeps the nut in a preserved state until it's ready to have water added to it so that it sprouts. When you add that water to the nut and it begins to soak or to sprout, the phytic acid is neutralized. The phytic acid is what binds to the minerals and keeps your body from absorbing them. It's that easy. If you take a non-fermented or non-soaked grain or nut into your system, your body cannot absorb the minerals from it because they've been interrupted by the phytic acid and they are just issued from your body, and you lose. You're not digesting anything.
So you're saying that when I go to the store and I pick up a bag of nuts, which I'm buying in the health department for good money, you're telling me that when I go and pick up a bag of nuts so that I can throw them down in the car and have a snack, that I'm not only not getting the minerals from those nuts, but it's taking my minerals out.
Right, it's causing you digestive stress.
Well,
you need to take that bag right home, put it in water for 6 hours with a little salt in it, take it out, drain it, let it dry, and then you've got a healthy product to eat.
But the nuts that I just bought from the store are roasted. Same deal?
No. That's those that roasted are kind of even worse, because they've applied high heat to get them drier, and most roasted nuts also have some sort of a chemical flavoring on them as well too. So stay away from the roasted nuts as well. Keep your children away from the roasted nuts.
Okay, tell me how you do it.
Okay, the first thing I do when I get home from buying mine is I immediately soak them, because then if I don't, then they get into and people still take them, help themselves.
Well, yeah.
So the first thing I do is very simple. Goes into a pot of water with some salt in it, and I let it set for 6 hours.
Why 6?
Well, there's certain nuts that will do well at 6, some will do better at 8. So there's a certain soaking period of time that you just need to learn.
Okay.
And I don't.
And almonds and almonds are 6.
Almonds are 6, and it just so happens that almonds and pecans and walnuts and not cashews, and pumpkin seeds are all the same. So what I'll do is I'll get bags of each of those, put them all in to soak at the same time. 6 hours later, drain it all off, put it in my dehydrator. It doesn't matter what size they are or anything, but it takes them then about 8 to 10 hours in my dehydrator to get to the point that they're crunchy. Now, I have a question for you. How do you tell them when they're crunchy enough? How do you tell when they're...
I snitch.
Okay.
I use the snitching method.
Okay. Can you please explain that?
Yes, I'm a dehydrator, and I open the door, and I look at the plumpest one, because everybody knows that as far as the what's the word that I use? For the snitching factor, the plumpest are going to
tell the story.
Tell the story, yeah. So you pop that very fat little almond in your mouth, and you crunch it, and when it pops in your mouth, and you have that magnificent flavor, you're home free.
I do the same thing, only I wait until the nut has cooled. I will pull it out, let it cool to room temperature, and then I'll test it. And if it just is crispy, immediately crunches and everything, then I know that it's ready.
Okay, now you said that your time is 6 hours. I don't subscribe to the Do It Perfect some of the times.
You didn't take that class?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't, and if I had, it wouldn't have ended well. And so I soak mine overnight. Is that going to be a problem? Before I go to bed, I do just what you did, but I go to bed, and I get up the next morning, and I go through the process.
I've never done that, so I don't know what the repercussions are. I do know, though, that I have over-soaked peanuts and I have over-soaked cashews, and it's not pretty.
Really?
They're a real messy, consistency that doesn't quite dry well.
Okay, so there's certain nuts that you're going to get away with it, and certain nuts that
well,
you're not.
you tell me. If that's how you always soak yours.
I only do certain nuts, and it always works for me.
Okay, what do you do?
I do walnuts and almonds more than anything else.
Okay. So how do you use your soaked nuts?
How do I use my soaked nuts? Wow. Well, see, we're a gluten-free family, and so this is a situation that with nuts, it's not just something that we put in our snacks, such as a trail mix or something like that. We actually make our baked goods out of nuts. So I'm going to be soaking and dehydrating probably more than the average person, unless they're a gluten-free family as well. But I put it into baked goods. I grind it into nut butters. Just anything that would have a nut in it. We do.
Do you grind flours out of your nuts?
I do.
Do you ever make nut milk?
I have, but I strongly prefer dairy from a Jersey cow to a nut milk.
Yes.